Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're really digging into something quite significant, the impact of having a narcissistic mother, specifically on her daughters.
Yeah, and our main source for this is Karyl McBride's book, Will I Ever Be Good Enough? It's really insightful.
It really is. And what makes it stand out, I think, is that McBride isn't just writing as a therapist with clinical experience.
Right. She also brings her own personal experience as a daughter into it. That blend gives it, well, a real depth, doesn't it?
Absolutely. So for everyone listening, our mission today is to kind of unpack these dynamics. We want to shine a light on maternal narcissism, how it works, and the effects it can have.
And hopefully, if any of this sounds familiar, this deep dive can offer some, understanding and maybe some validation, too.
Exactly. The book starts right away with that core feeling many daughters experience, this sense of just never being good enough.
McBride talks about the inner critics, those negative voices inside, often echoing the mother, that just chip away at self-worth. It's quite powerful.
And she's open about her own struggles with this, which makes it feel very grounded, very real from the get-go.
It does. And, it's important to remember narcissism is really a spectrum.
Right, not black and white.
Exactly. We all might have a trait here or there, but then there's the clinical diagnosis, narcissistic personality disorder, NPD.
And the book mentions, about 1.5 million women in the U.S. estimated to have NPD. But the bigger issue might be the non-clinical traits.
That's what McBride argues, yeah. Those traits, even without a full diagnosis, can still cause significant harm in the mother-daughter relationship. It's pervasive.
Okay, so let's zero in on that. What do these narcissistic traits in mothers actually look like? McBride lays out 9, right?
Yes, 9 common ones. First up is that grandiose sense of self-importance.
Like the example of Sally's mother in her volunteer work.
Exactly. Constantly inflating her role, making herself the hero of every story. It's more than just pride, it's exaggeration.
Got it. And number 2, fantasies.
Yeah, preoccupation with fantasies of, unlimited success, power, brilliance, beauty. Like Mary's mother, the house cleaner, thinking her connections would make her famous. A real disconnect from reality.
And the third, believing they're special.
Special and unique, only truly understood by other high-status people or institutions. It sets them apart in their own minds.
Okay. And the fourth sounds pretty central, needing excessive admiration.
Oh, definitely. It's not just wanting appreciation. It's this constant, deep need for praise, just to feel okay, a driving force.
Right. Then number 5 is entitlement.
Yes, that feeling that they deserve special treatment, that rules don't apply, and others should just comply.
Followed by exploitative behavior, taking advantage.
Yeah, using others to get what they want without much thought for the other person's feelings or needs.
Which connects to number 7, and this feels huge for daughters. Lack of empathy.
Absolutely huge. An unwillingness or maybe inability to recognize or identify with others' feelings. Daughters feel unseen, unheard.
Like their whole emotional world is just invisible to the mother.
Precisely. The book mentions Gail, Betty, Serena, that longing for a connection that the mother just can't seem to provide because of this empathy gap. It leaves this deep void.
Devastating. Okay, number 8, envy.
Yes, often being envious of others or believing others envy them creates a really toxic dynamic where the daughter might hide her own successes.
So she doesn't trigger the mother's jealousy. Wow. And the last one, number 9.
Arrogant, haughty behaviors or attitudes. That air of superiority that just makes others feel small.
So putting it all together, what's the overall impact on daughters growing up to this?
Well, McBride describes daughters feeling this real inner emptiness, feeling bereft, uncertain. It shows up as oversensitivity, indecisiveness, not trusting themselves.
And problems in relationships later on, I mean.
Big problems, yeah. Difficulty forming healthy give-and-take relationships. It's a heavy burden.
It really paints a picture. Now, the book goes deeper into how these traits actually manifest in the relationship itself.
Right.
Specific issues.
Yes, she lists, I believe it's 11 common relationship issues. The first is the daughter being expected to manage the mother's emotional needs.
Ah, like the story about Sophie. Happy about her doctor's visit, but it instantly becomes about her mother again.
Exactly that. The daughter's feelings only matter if they serve the mother somehow.
Okay, what's the second issue? The double message.
Yes, do well so I can be proud, but don't you dare do better than me. It's that confusing push-pull. Samantha's story about her weight is a classic example.
A total no-win situation.
Yeah.
And the third, Competition.
Yeah, the mother actually competing with the daughter, like Felice wanting to model and her mother basically shutting it down out of negativity. The daughter's success feels like a threat.
Wow. Number 4, accomplishments only matter if they benefit mom.
Laura's mother being jealous of Laura's bond with her dad really shows that. It's all about how it reflects on the mother.
Okay, and number 5, the daughter needing to be constantly available.
Right. Regardless of the daughter's own life or plans, McBride even shares her own mother demanding visits constantly. The daughter's life revolves around the mother's needs.
And number 6, the upstaging. Making the daughter's big moments about them.
Oh, yeah. That story about Doris at Suzanne's rehab party, making it all about her drama instead of Suzanne's achievement. Cringeworthy, but sadly familiar for some.
Definitely. What's number 7? Not wanting to hear about the daughter.
Yeah, just a fundamental lack of interest. McBride's own mother handing the phone to her dad when she started talking about herself. It's profound disinterest.
Painful. Number 8 is about limited emotional range. Or withdrawal.
Exactly. Like Brenda's mother, who only showed anger, or Stacy's mom physically leaving the room when Stacy tried to talk feelings, makes real connection impossible.
And Stacy's realization, there is no me, there can't be with her. That's heavy.
It is. Number 9 is the constant criticism, that never good enough feeling.
Like Marilyn, whose talents were ignored, or Chris dreading her mother's judgment even at her own wedding.
And daughters internalize that criticism so deeply it becomes their own inner voice.
Okay, number 10. Mother treats daughter like a friend, blurring boundaries.
Yes, using the daughter for emotional support, sharing inappropriate details, like Tracy being enmeshed, or Cheryl hearing about her mom's dating life.
So the daughter ends up parenting the parent, almost.
In a way, yes, feeling responsible for the mother's problems. And linked to that is number 11. No real boundaries or privacy.
Like Cheryl's mom sharing embarrassing stuff with friends, a total violation.
Right. So across all these points, you see the mother's needs constantly overriding and often damaging the daughter's emotional well-being.
It's a consistent pattern. And the book calls the family environment the narcissistic nest. Tell us about that.
Yeah, the narcissistic nest. It describes a family system running on unspoken rules. And the main rule is mom's needs come first. Always.
Leaving the kids feeling invisible.
Invisible, emotionally disconnected, yeah. Their feelings just don't seem to matter. And McBride makes this really sharp point. These rules block kids' access to parents emotionally, but allow parents almost unlimited, boundaryless access to the kids.
Wow. Using them for their own needs.
Sometimes even emotional abuse, yes. It's a very unhealthy setup.
And what about the father's role in this nest?
Often, he becomes the mother's protector, sometimes enabling her behavior, even if it harms the daughter.
Like Marcy in therapy, wondering why her dad never stepped in. Or Carmen's dad always defending the mother.
Exactly. It leaves a daughter feeling doubly invalidated, like neither parent really sees her reality or is on her side. A real double whammy.
That must feel incredibly isolating. And siblings, how do they fit in?
It's complicated. Sometimes brothers are treated very differently, put on a pedestal.
Like Mirabelle's brother getting all the praise, or Liz's brother getting more gifts.
Right, which can make sisters feel less important. But interestingly, McBride notes many daughters don't resent their brothers for it.
Really? Why is that?
Sometimes it's almost a relief that someone is getting that maternal attention they crave, even if it's not them. It just shows how deep that need for maternal connection is.
That's wow. Speaks volumes. Okay, another big theme is the importance of image. What's that about?
It's this huge focus in narcissistic families on how things look to the outside world, way more than how things actually feel inside.
Appearance over authenticity.
Totally. What will the neighbors think becomes the driving force. Daughters internalize this image message deeply.
So they struggle to know who they really are. Always focused on perception.
Exactly. They're constantly trying to live up to some external ideal, often the mother's ideal, rather than developing their own sense of self.
The book gives examples, right? Like the mother in Postcards from the Edge.
Yeah, worrying about her image in the hospital. Or Tanya feeling like a failure for not being her mom's perfect image girl.
And Amanda's mother, more concerned about reporters during a family crisis than her daughter's feelings.
It shows incredibly skewed priorities. Even things like pushing kids into beauty pageants fit this pattern.
And it's not just families, is it? Society plays a role.
Oh, absolutely. McBride points out how media and culture constantly bombard women with messages about appearance, success, looking young.
Reinforcing that external validation focus.
Exactly. It makes it even harder for daughters to break free and value their inner selves.
That's a powerful force.
Oh.
Okay, so daughters react to this environment in different ways. The book talks about the high-achieving daughter, or Mary Marvel. What defines her?
Mary Marvel is driven, often unconsciously, by this intense need for external validation. Achievement becomes the way she tries to earn love and approval, to finally feel good enough.
Trying to fill that void left by the mother.
Precisely. But the problem is the relief from achievements is always temporary. It never quite fills the void, so she just keeps pushing harder and harder. An exhausting cycle.
And even when they achieve amazing things, there's that inner voice saying, still not enough?
Always. And often there's this fear of arrogance, too. They have trouble accepting praise because they're scared of seeming boastful. Maybe mirroring the mother's envy they experienced.
Leading to things like imposter syndrome.
Very common, yes. Feeling like a fraud despite clear evidence of success. Lonnie and Ellen's stories in the book really capture that disconnect between external success and internal self-doubt.
What family dynamics fuel this high-achieving pattern?
Things like unrealistic standards set by parents, constant criticism disguised as advice, conflict, tension, anger in the home.
Like the examples of Lillian, Cassidy, Leela, Jeannie.
Exactly. Those kinds of environments breed that feeling of never measuring up, no matter how much you achieve externally. It's deeply ingrained.
It really shows how those early experiences shape us. Now, the flip side, the self-sabotaging daughter. What does that look like?
This is where the daughter engages in behaviors that undermine her own success and happiness. McBride sees it not as a conscious choice, but as a kind of survival response.
A reaction to the unhealthy upbringing.
Yeah, a way to cope with those internalized negative messages, the low self-worth, the feelings of powerlessness from childhood.
How does this self-sabotage show up?
It can be many things. Chronic procrastination, relationship problems, eating disorders, substance abuse.
Like Deanna, Meredith, Athena, Nellie in the book.
Yes, their stories show the different ways it can manifest. Underlying it all is often this feeling of being fundamentally flawed.
So they struggle to accept good things.
Right. Misty's story illustrates that unconsciously pushing away happiness or success because they don't feel they deserve it.
And the idea of the stolen childhood comes in here too.
Yes, that feeling of being robbed of a normal upbringing may be constantly compared negatively to others. It fuels the self-sabotage.
And McBride emphasizes that most daughters, even high achievers, show some self-sabotaging traits.
That's a key point. The underlying wounds and feelings of inadequacy are often very similar, even if the outward behavior looks different. It's not always one or the other.
That's really important. Okay, let's talk about how this impacts love relationships in adulthood.
This is a huge area, obviously. Daughters often enter relationships carrying that baggage, the shame, the self-doubt, the not good enough feeling.
And that affects their choices and how happy they are in relationships.
Absolutely. McBride highlights several unhealthy patterns that tend to repeat.
Like what? Dependent, codependent relationships.
Yes, often driven by trying to meet those unmet childhood needs, either trying to rescue someone or finding someone to take care of them, usually unbalanced and unfulfilling.
And choosing emotionally unavailable partners.
That's another big one. It might feel familiar, even weirdly safe, because it echoes the dynamic with the mother, even though it's painful.
Repeating the pattern unconsciously. What else?
There can be a tendency towards blame, difficulty taking responsibility for relationship choices, a huge fear of abandonment that gets triggered easily.
And the different types. Overachievers becoming caretakers.
Yes, drawn to partners who need fixing. Or dependent daughters looking for someone to fill that emotional void the mother left.
And sometimes they become like their mothers in relationships.
Sadly, yes. Reenacting the narcissistic dynamic from the other side, it all leads back to those early wounds.
Which can ultimately lead to loneliness or isolation.
Yeah, either through repeated bad experiences or just deciding relationships are too painful or difficult. The examples in the book really show the range of struggles.
It's a really tough legacy. Okay, shifting gears. What happens when these daughters become mothers themselves? Mothering your own children.
This is often a source of huge anxiety. The biggest fear is usually repeating the same negative patterns they experienced.
Understandable if they didn't have a positive role model.
Exactly. They worry they'll inflict the same wounds. And sometimes there's a risk of overcompensating, going completely the other way.
Like the example of overtracing. creating different problems.
Right. It's a difficult balance.
Yeah.
McBride really stresses the importance of self-care for these mothers, not selfishly, but to build their own emotional resources so they can be there for their kids.
So what specific skills does she suggest focusing on?
Empathy is number one. Learning to truly see and validate their child's feelings, especially if they didn't receive that themselves. Shay's story is about learning this.
Okay, empathy. What else?
Allowing authenticity. Letting kids be themselves without judgment. Kami's struggle shows how hard it is to let go of those image messages.
Avoiding living through the kids' achievements.
Yes, like in Abby's story. And maintaining healthy boundaries, which Jan's situation highlights, it's about consciously creating a different emotional environment.
One based on connection, acceptance, emotional expression, the things they missed.
Precisely. It takes conscious effort to break the cycle.
So the book talks a lot about recovery. Where does that journey begin?
It really starts with acceptance. Accepting the reality of the mother's limitations and grieving the loss of the mother they needed and deserved but didn't have.
That sounds really hard. Painful.
It is. It's often the hardest step. But it's foundational for healing.
What comes after acceptance?
Psychological separation. Learning to untangle your identity from your mother's influence and projections.
So defining yourself on your own terms.
Exactly. And actively reframing those internalized negative messages into something more positive and self-compassionate.
And then developing your own identity.
Yes, rediscovering and embracing your own feelings, desires, dreams, things that might have been suppressed for years, giving yourself permission to be you.
And learning to handle the relationship with the mother differently, setting boundaries.
Crucial. And also, importantly, doing some self-reflection on any narcissistic traits you might have picked up along the way.
Okay. The book mentions a 3-step recovery model.
Yeah. Understanding the problem, which is what we're doing now. Processing feelings, the grief work, and reframing seeing things through a healthier lens.
And processing feelings isn't just talking about it.
No, McBride emphasizes really feeling the pain, the anger, the sadness. Lauren and Elise's experiences show how intense but necessary that emotional processing is.
Let's talk more about that grief work. What does it involve?
Allowing yourself to feel it all: sadness, anger, disappointment. Moving through those stages: denial, anger, bargaining, depression, acceptance, though it's rarely linear.
People bounce around.
Often, yeah. And dealing with the guilt society often puts on us about negative feelings towards mothers. That needs challenging.
And grieving the child you didn't get to be. That's powerful.
It is. Reflecting on missed experiences, unmet needs. The book suggests things like doll therapy to connect with that younger self and offer compassion.
Giving your inner child what it needed then.
Exactly. Validation, care, understanding.
Okay, then the book talks about being a part of and apart from the mother. What's that about?
It's about individuation, establishing yourself as a separate person, independent of her influence. Gracie and Marian's stories touch on this struggle for separateness.
And coping with her projections.
Yes, realizing her negativity is often about her pain, not about you, not internalizing it, especially if you were the scapegoat.
What about coping with her envy? That sounds tricky.
It is. Recognizing it for what it is, her insecurity, and not letting it diminish your own successes or make you feel guilty, not hiding your light. Cinderella is mentioned as a classic example here.
And actively getting rid of those old negative messages.
Definitely. Identifying them, challenging them, replacing them with more realistic, kinder self-talk, writing them down, arguing against them. It's an ongoing practice.
Building a new internal narrative.
Right. And the book lists characteristics of an individuated daughter: flexibility, authenticity, self-esteem, ability to self-soothe, offering a positive vision for the future. There are encouraging stories, too.
That's hopeful. The final section is becoming the woman I truly am. What's the focus here?
It's about really embracing your own worthiness, believing you deserve good things. A big part is strengthening the internal mother.
Developing that inner source of nurturing and validation.
Exactly. Learning to give yourself the support you might not have received consistently. McBride offers techniques for this.
And managing the collapse. What's that?
Those moments where old wounds get triggered and you feel that dip in self-worth, like a temporary regression. Felicity's story shows this.
So the key is recognizing it and turning to your internal mother for support.
Yes, relying on that inner strength rather than seeking external fixes or falling into old patterns.
How do you discover your true self after maybe years of conforming?
McBride suggests exercises like a real woman collage or a memory exercise to reconnect with your genuine likes, beliefs, passions, separate from your mother's.
And prioritizing self-care, physical, emotional.
Absolutely. Nurturing yourself holistically is key to embracing that true self.
What about managing the actual relationship with the mother going forward, especially if she won't change?
The book is realistic here. Change in her is unlikely, especially with MPD, so it explores options.
Like,
Complete disconnection, like Cherise and Mandy chose, temporary separation, or finding ways to connect civilly but with strong boundaries.
specific boundary setting examples.
Yes, practical tips for handling common situations. Even considering therapy together, but with realistic expectations.
What if the mother is deceased?
Then the focus is on acceptance, understanding her context, finding peace, and forgiveness, primarily as a release for yourself, may be contingent on whether she ever took accountability.
And recognizing mother's gifts, strengths gained from the experience.
Yeah, finding wisdom or resilience that came out of the struggle. It's about finding meaning.
It's a very thorough approach. The book ends with accountability and empathy. Key takeaways.
Taking responsibility for your own life, emotions, choices now, that's crucial. And developing empathy for yourself, first and foremost, and for others.
Moving beyond blame.
Exactly. Focusing on your own growth. And again, that honest look at your own potential narcissistic traits, using the DSM checklist for self-reflection.
So it's about healing the wounds, but also taking ownership of your own path forward.
Perfectly put. Understanding the impact, but also claiming your power to create a healthier future for yourself.
Wow. This has been incredibly insightful. We've really unpacked a lot from Karyl McBride's book, Will I Ever Be Good Enough? From the traits and patterns to the family dynamics, the impact on daughters, and crucially, the paths to recovery.
Yeah, understanding the problem, processing the emotions, setting boundaries, finding that self-compassion. They're all such vital pieces.
So for our listeners, now that you have this deeper understanding, maybe think about this. What's one small step you could take, maybe even today, to nurture your own internal mother, to honor your own emotional needs?
Because that journey to feeling good enough, it really starts with recognizing your own worthiness right here, right now.
Absolutely. And if this deep dive resonated, we really do recommend checking out the book itself. Will I Ever Be Good Enough? There's so much more detail, guidance, stories. It's a powerful resource for anyone on this journey.
Definitely worth exploring further if this struck a chord. It offers a real roadmap for healing and becoming the woman you truly are.